Hello and welcome to Verdict 2015. Now campaigning is on in full swing ahead of the voting for the third phase of assembly elections in Bihar. That is scheduled for 28th of October. We'll get you all the updates and also news analysis from our team of experts. Let us begin with the election headlines. Politics over pulses is the new flavor of Bihar elections. Alliances blame each other for soaring prices. BJP MP Shatrughan Sinha escalates his rebellion, meets Congress's chief spokesperson Randeep Surjewala, meeting described as a social call. Rahul Gandhi to address 3 rallies ahead of phase 3 of Bihar elections. Congress Vice President to campaign in West Champaran and Sitamarhi. And today the spotlight is on Vaishali, where the struggle continues to be basic amenities as voters continue to blame successive state governments. Well, our top focus, pulse politics is being played out in the election fields of Bihar. Now, rival alliances are blaming each other for rapidly vanishing pulses from the platter of the common man due to its soaring prices. After Chief Minister Nitish Kumar used Prime Minister Narendra Modi's "na khaunga, na khane dunga" remark to target the centre over prohibitive prices of poor man's meat, 2 central ministers from Bihar blamed the state government for decline in production of pulses. The Price Stabilisation Fund is raised by the state, to which centre contributes 50% of the money. Now, Union Food Minister Ramvilas Paswan charged Nitish Kumar with not taking appropriate steps to contain prices of pulses, only to sully the image of the Modi government during polls. As he came under attack, Nitish Kumar sought to turn the tables on the centre for skyrocketing pulse prices. Now, this time hitting out at Modi over his "Achhe Din" comment and saying that people want their Purane Din back.
यहाँ राज्य सरकार की विफलता है कि गुजरात में या मध्य प्रदेश में, महाराष्ट्र में या देश के दूसरे राज्यों में काहे दाल का दाम है। ये ऐसा हास्यास्पद बात करना किसी भी राज्य सरकार का काम है, इंपोर्ट करना। राज्य सरकार दाल का व्यापार करती है, दाल का दुकान देती है। वो जैसा जैसा हास्यास्पद पत्र लिखा था उसको उत्तर चला गया था समय पर। ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट आप दीजिए, उसको दरवाइए और इसके बाद उसको बाजार में पहुंचाइए। माने राज्य सरकार का मतलब क्या है कि सब थाना को, ब्लॉक को, एसडीओ को कहते कि दाल का दुकान चलाओ।
जब हुआ कि आयात किया जाए तो राज्यों को लिखा गया कि आपको कितना चाहिए, आप इसका विवरण दीजिए, तो उसको भी, उस पत्र को भी इन्होंने रिस्पॉन्स नहीं किया। कीमतें जो बिहार में बढ़ी है उसके लिए यदि कोई जिम्मेवार है तो नीतीश कुमार है।
आप स्टॉक लिमिट तय कीजिए। एसेंशियल कमोडिटी के एक्ट के तहत आपको कार्रवाई करने का अधिकार है, उसका उपयोग कीजिए। जो प्रिवेंशन ऑफ ब्लैक मार्केटिंग एक्ट है उसके अंतर्गत आप कार्रवाई कीजिए।
All right, my colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us from Patna. Kriti, good morning. Now, pulse war has broken out on Bihar's electoral table. Rival camps really blaming each other for soaring prices of pulses. What is the latest that you are getting, Kriti?
Good morning, Aishwarya. Absolutely spiraling pulses prices have assumed center stage in Bihar election campaign. Of course, we saw yesterday how Union Minister squarely blamed Nitish Kumar for the rising pulses prices. Union Minister, Agriculture Minister Radha Mohan Singh, and also Food and Civil Supplies Minister, he also said that it was because of Nitish Kumar, because he failed to address the decline in production of pulses, plus he could not act against hoarders. They also said that the centre had written to the state government to use the special grant for price stabilisation, but Nitish Kumar was politically motivated, so he did not use it. Of course, Nitish Kumar was quick to deliver a rebuttal, and he said that it was not only in Bihar, the other BJP governed states also, there also the prices of pulses are extremely high. Of course, he used the jibe Achhe Din, and he said that forget Achhe Din, give us our Purane Din only. And also he said that instead Prime Minister Modi had once promised na khaunga na khane dunga. So he used this jibe and he used this catchphrase in terms of pulses, and he said that the Prime Minister will not eat pulses and will not let poor man eat pulses. So of course, as election dates for the third phase draw closer, war over pulses is escalating. Over to you, Aishwarya.
Now, Kriti, since you are in Patna, you must have spoken to the voters there, the common man there. How is this issue finding a resonance among the voters, and especially how are they viewing this war of words between the alliances, between the two camps rather, over dal prices?
Right, Aishwarya. Of late, we've seen how non-issues were exported from the other parts of the country here in Bihar and made election issues. But now, of course, it's about inflation that affects common man, that affects you and me. So, of course, people are more interested in engaging in dialogue, discussing inflation, discussing development. They also feel that the level of political discourse has definitely enhanced after people are talking about inflation and not just caste rhetoric and not just, political mudslinging. So, of course, they're worried about inflation, but they also want their leaders to talk about development, to talk about issues that affect common man. Aishwarya.
All right, Kriti, thank you so much for those details there. So, pulse war really breaking out on Bihar's electoral table. Thank you so much. Let's go back. Now, let's go to Mr. Sanjeev Verma, who's the news coordinator with The Telegraph. Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, sir, how do you see the developments in Bihar where pulse war is really dominating the electoral table? Rival camps are blaming each other for the soaring prices of pulses. How do you view this new development?
Well, Aishwarya, if you see the development, it has become a political issue, unfortunately. It has economic connotations. No one is talking about the economics. No one is going into the reasons, what led to the price rise and how it can be addressed. No one is speaking about it.
Exactly.
Center is putting blame on the state, and the state is putting blame on the center. A man on a street, a woman in a kitchen, or would be more interested that what steps are being taken to contain the price rise. No one is talking about that. NDA is claiming that if it is voted to power, it will bring the prices to the half of the present level within 2 days. The state government is claiming that center did nothing. So these kind of rhetorics are not going to help people. And they stay confused, the kind of discourse going on at present in Bihar.
But the point is, at least there is an issue really that people need to talk about, this pulse, rise of prices in pulse, because the issues really that were dominating so far in the election campaign were beef, and then there was a reservation issue, and who said what to whom. So at least we have now an issue that actually the governments, the state government as well as the opposition should really talk about.
Of course, yes. Yes, it has become an election issue, no doubt in that. But if you see the things behind the statements being made by the union ministers and the state leaders, you don't find any substantial thing
Exactly.
on the basis of which people could take some solace. This is not happening. Had it not been an issue, two union ministers would not have organized a special press conference explaining things to media people that look, center did these things, but state government didn't respond, and which led to price escalation. State government is claiming that it is not our business to sell pulses. You were showing the bite of Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. He was saying that we are not supposed to open pulse shops. To an extent, he is right. But it is the duty of the center as well as the state government to work in tandem and to take effective steps to contain this kind of price rise.
Exactly. So pulses may have...
Making it an election issue is not going to help much.
All right, so pulses may have really vanished from people's platter, but definitely they are the flavor this election season. Sir, you stay with us. We'll just come back to you. Meanwhile, as the campaigning is on for the third phase, let's take a look at campaign trail. Well, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi will hold 3 public meetings in Bihar on 26th of October. That is 2 days before the third phase of assembly elections. Now, he will address 2 rallies in West Champaran district and 1 in Sitamarhi. Now, Congress in alliance with JTU and RJD is contesting on 41 seats in the state, while its other partners are fighting in 101 seats each. Rahul has addressed a few rallies in Bihar so far. 81 constituencies have gone to polls so far in this phase, and 162 will go in the next 3 remaining phases. And BJP lawmaker Shatrughan Sinha has escalated his rebellion by meeting Congress leader Randeep Surjewala in Delhi right in the middle of the crucial assembly elections in the state Bihar. Now, Surjewala, who visited Sinha at his home on Monday, described it as a social call. Here is a report.
Chief spokesperson of the Congress, Randeep Surjewala, on Monday met sulking BJP MP Shatrughan Sinha. The meet took place amid reports of growing differences between the latter and his party. A meeting which the Congress leader described as a social call. Surjewala, who called on Sinha at the latter's residence, later said no political significance should be attached to it. I have deep regards for Shatrughan Sinha ji. Every personal relationship can't be viewed from political prism. Hope media friends understand. The meeting with the Congress leader followed a series of controversial tweets from Sinha, who acknowledged reports that the BJP has underperformed in the first 2 phases of the 5-phase Bihar election. News that my party could have done better in the first 2 phases upsets me. Hope it's untrue. Wishing BJP candidates all the best for the next phase. Time to stop approaching the issues on the ground like standard half-hearted 5-star press meets. The meeting that took place at Sinha's Delhi residence is unlikely to find favour with the BJP. However, political parties were quick to react to the meet.
What Shatrughan Sinha is saying is not new. We fully endorse his view, and in this neo BJP, all the senior leaders have been ignored. Some by the name of brain dead, some by the name of deliberately ignoring them, people like Shatrughan Sinha who were in the BJP when BJP was nothing. But today they are being ignored. So somewhere they feel humiliated.
मैं इतना ही कह सकता हूँ कि हमारा प्रदर्शन अच्छा हुआ और हम चुनाव जीतेंगे।
रणदीप सुरजेवाला ही नहीं, बिहारी की हैसियत से हम सब लोग शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा जी की अदाकारी की, उनकी एक्टिंग के कायल हैं, उनके प्रशंसक हैं। तो निजी भेंट भी होती रहती है, हर भेंट में राजनीति नहीं तलाश करनी चाहिए। शत्रुघ्न सिन्हा जी और भी लोग हैं जिनको साइडलाइन कर दिया गया है बीजेपी में, लेकिन ये उनकी पार्टी का अंदरूनी मामला है, उसमें मुझको कुछ नहीं कहना।
This is not the first time that Sinha has done something to leave his party red-faced in the recent past. Some of his remarks and tweets have caused unease in the party, including about Prime Minister Narendra Modi cancelling a number of rallies and on the spiralling prices of pulses. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
All right, let's go back to Mr. Verma. Mr. Verma, now again Shatrughan Sinha leaving his party red-faced, meeting Congress leader Surjewala in Delhi. How do you look at the development, and how do you think it is going to affect BJP's fortunes really in the middle of the assembly elections?
Look, Aishwarya, Mr. Sinha is an interesting character in Bihar politics. People may perceive him as a mass leader, but he is not. He is more has been a crowd puller for the BJP right from the beginning. If you visit his constituency in Patna, many people don't even have interacted with him. He rarely visits his constituency. He stays in a star hotel, he meets people, he addresses press, and he goes back. He has been a kind of traveler to Patna. He has not been a local MP kind of thing as far as his political discourse is concerned. He meeting Lalu Prasad or Nitish Kumar or say Surjewala, it is nothing new. I firmly believe that a kind of war of nerve is going on between Mr. Sinha and his party. Sinha is indulging into acts which may lead to disciplinary action against him, but BJP appears to be firm that it will keep on ignoring his acts, his tweets, his statements. So this is very interesting. As far as his acting and his symbol Bihari Babu and all these things which are being discussed by leaders of different political parties, if you speak to people, I mean, they don't see Shatrughan Sinha as a leader who would usher in change or who would lead to certain kind of revolutionary change in their lives. This is not the thing. More news value is there, but real value is not there, I reckon.
Okay, so Shatrughan Sinha might not be a big problem for the BJP, but Mr. Verma, now the opposition really has been hitting out at the BJP over a number of rallies of Prime Minister that have been cancelled. They're saying that BJP is on the defensive and now it is showing its local leaders to the people. It seems to be on the back foot. How do you look at that?
It is something very interesting which has taken place in the past few days. The BJP never announced any official announcement, never came from the BJP that these numbers of rallies are going to be addressed by the Prime Minister. They announced it recently when Amit Shah was addressing a press meet in which they said that 4, 2 and 4 kind of things. I don't remember the numbers exactly. So I don't know from where has this entered in the discourse of political debate that Prime Minister has curtailed on his number of rallies and all. BJP never claimed that this number of rallies is going to be addressed by the Prime Minister. They did announce the official programs, and if one goes by the announcement made by the BJP, Prime Minister is sticking to that.
No, but don't you think the BJP has undertaken a course correction after the BJP felt that there was too much exposure of Prime Minister, also Amit Shah, so they have sort of corrected their course in the middle of the assembly elections?
I don't think so. BJP is contesting this election, projecting Narendra Modi's face in the forefront. They are continuing with his rallies. He is going to address 4 rallies ahead of 3rd phase and again some rallies ahead of 4th phase. So from where does this come that BJP is doing a kind of course correction? Had the Prime Minister rallies numbers would have been reduced, one could have said this, but right now I don't think so.
No, but
there is any kind of course correction per se.
No, there has been. It seems to be there's some change in strategy. Now we are seeing number of local readers. Their posters are being put up, and rather than showing Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, they're showing some local leaders. So aren't they really going for some course correction?
Aishwarya, one needs to be in Bihar before making such statements. The Prime Minister's face is very much there on the posters of BJP. Amit Shah's face is very much there on the BJP. Even yesterday they were putting up some new boards and banners with the same 2 faces. As far as projection of local leaders are concerned, it has been there since beginning. Of course, the number has been less. The number of posters carrying the faces of local leaders has been less. Okay. And it is the same even at present.
All right, so you're saying
1 or 2 posters, and based on those stories are being presented in the media that there is a kind of course correction. I personally don't see that.
All right, so you're saying there's no course correction for the BJP. Let's see, because 28th of October is the day when 3rd phase of assembly elections, the voting will begin. Remember, 50 assembly seats, it will be covered in phase 3. Thank you so much, Mr. Verma, for joining us and sharing your perspective on that story. And in Verdict 2015, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more news. Stay with us.
Today we bring to you the Carriage by Air Amendment Bill 2015.
I understand even till now, whatever was decided in 2009, it has still not been ratified till date. Earlier, there was a printed ticket. Now try and see how the airlines are saving their money.
What is 7,50,000 these days if a man is dead? his family is there. Why is this compensation given? To take care of his kith and kin who are left behind.
Watch Law of the Land on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back after the break. Let's move on to some more election news. Well, BJP President Amit Shah addressed a rally at Maner on Tuesday, where he reiterated that BJP's agenda for the assembly polls in the state is development and future of the youth. Now, Shah urged the people to vote for bringing about a change in the state that was ruled by Lalu and Nitish for the last 25 years without any development.
दुनिया में जितने भी परिवर्तन हुए हैं, वो परिवर्तन युवाओं ने करे हैं। आज मैं मनेर की सभा के अंदर बिहार की तरुणाई को देख रहा हूं, वो परिवर्तन के लिए तैयार बैठी है।
And time now for some political reactions in our section Poll Bits.
सुशील मोदी जी का मानसिक संतुलन बिगड़ गया, क्योंकि इनको भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने नेता घोषित नहीं किया, इसलिए बौखलाहट में इस तरह का बयान देते हैं।
बनने के लिए कोई आदमी ही नहीं दिखाई पड़ रहा है। जब दूल्हा के लिए कोई आदमी ही नहीं दिखाई पड़ रहा है, तो जो दूल्हा पहले से बिहार का कर रहा है, ठीक ढंग से काम कर रहा है, तो उसी के पार्टी के और उसी के चुनाव चिन्ह पर और उसी गठबंधन पर लोग वोट देंगे।
I think they are actually rattled. They don't know how to contest in Bihar. They have lost their balance, political balance completely. And certainly the two phases have shown that Bihar has made up its mind on the basis of the kind of unprecedented mobilization of backwards and Dalits.
Let's now get you some poll snippets in our section Poll Puri. Jan Adhikar Party Chief Palpu Yadav has said that the two main alliances are unlikely to get majority in the assembly polls, and support of the third front will be needed for any alliance to form the government. Palpu Yadav was addressing a gathering in Mokama constituency of Patna. A total of 808 candidates are in the fray in the third phase of assembly elections in Bihar. 215 candidates have criminal background and serious cases have been registered against 162 candidates. Third phase goes to polls on 28th of October. Central paramilitary forces will be deployed in full capacity to ensure free and fair polling for the remaining three phases of the Bihar elections. This after the Chief Election Commissioner directed the district magistrates and superintendents of police to ensure deployment of CPMFs inside all polling stations. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar paid a visit to the Chithala temple in Patna on the occasion of Navratri. He prayed for the peace and growth of the country and also seek blessings for the victory of alliance in Bihar elections. Now, Vaishali has a long association with the democracy, but even after 6 decades of independence, the district is still struggling with the severe lack of development, and electors are blaming successive state governments for this.
Bihar's Vaishali district, the world's first republic and the mother of all democracies. Today, it stands as a picture of neglect. A victim of broken political promises, Vaishali is awaiting answers to some basic questions like water, electricity, roads and jobs.
यहाँ पर जो भी लोग आए हैं, ना ही उन्होंने आज तक शिक्षा को सुधार करने की कोशिश की। टूरिस्ट के लिए हॉस्पिटल्स जो कि बेसिक चीजें हैं वो नहीं है यहाँ पे। ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के रूप में सरकार की तरफ से कोई सुविधाएं नहीं है।
The Vaishali district has 8 assembly seats. The 2010 elections saw the BJP take 3 of these, while the JDU accounted for 5. Vaishali and Hajipur are the 2 Lok Sabha constituencies. 20 lakh voters are spread out among Vaishali, Lalganj, Hajipur, Raghopur, Mahua, Rajapakar and Patepur assembly seats.
वैशाली विधानसभा क्षेत्र में जो काम होना चाहिए जनता के साथ, जनता के विकास का काम, शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में, रोजगार के अवसर पैदा करने के क्षेत्र में, किसान के खेती के क्षेत्र में, वैसा कोई काम यहाँ के जो जनप्रतिनिधि रहे आज तक नहीं किए।
Contests in Mahua and Raghopur will feature Lalu Prasad's two sons. Key issues include roads, electricity, water and jobs. Apart from these, given the cultural and religious significance of Vaishali, tourism is also a big issue, and so far the government hasn't done much for it.
टूरिस्ट आते हैं, पटना में रुकते हैं, गया में रुकते हैं, ठहराव यहाँ है नहीं। सरकार के आज तक केंद्र सरकार हो या राज्य सरकार हो, ध्यान इस वैशाली पे है ये नहीं है किसी के पास।
The depleted Third Front is also determined to make its presence felt in these elections.
हमको लगता है कि वैशाली के लोगों ने मन बनाया है कि जो जातिगत यहाँ का जो वोटिंग होता था, बिहार में तभी जातिगत चलेगा, लेकिन वैशाली में जो माहौल बना है उसको हमको लगता है कि लोग इस बार यहाँ के मतदाता ध्वस्त कर देंगे।
There is no dearth of political ideologies or candidates. All the voters now need is one who will work for them. Ravindra Sharon's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Purnia district in southeastern Bihar, comprising 7 Vidhan Sabha constituencies, once known for its industrial as well as educational prowess, is today among the state's most backward areas. Now, the 7 assembly segments have a mix of BJP, JDU, RJD and Congress MLAs with expectations of strong anti-incumbency factor when polling takes place in the last phase on the 5th of November. Here is more.
Legend mentions the region as the spiritual home of Mata Puran Devi, hence its name Purnia. Purnia's identity was once its galaxy of literary giants and its prowess as a centre of learning. That aura has long faded. Agriculturally, the place had once been recognized for its bumper jute production. That too is on the verge of dying out completely. Today, despite its status as a division headquarter, Purnia is listed among the most backward areas of Bihar. Crumbling infrastructure and zero development here means migration. For many, arising out of a desperate state of affairs is at an all-time high. This sugar mill is Banmanki area, shut down 25 years ago for want of funds. Every election season, it comes into focus amid promises from politicians of reviving its fortunes and that of the people of the region. Purnia comprises 7 assembly segments: Purnia Sadar, Banmanki, Amor with BJP MLAs, Thamdaha and Ropali with JDU representatives, Kasba with the Congress MLA and Bayasi with the RJD. All these constituencies of Purnia district go to polls in the 5th and final phase on the 5th of November. A strong anti-incumbency factor among the electorate stands out, even amid tall promises from the political parties. For years, Purnia has seen only promises, elections raising hope of actual work on the ground. And they can only hope that it will be different this time. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
That's all in this edition of Verdict 2015. Also watch our afternoon election bulletin at 1 p.m. But that's all from the election team at the moment. Thanks for your time.